I've always believed in UFOs, even as a kid. In fact, my belief in UFOs was one of those kinds of things where you learn as a kid, gee, you know, the rest of the world doesn't believe what I believe. It was one of those existential epiphanies. It's like, really, you don't believe in UFOs? Really? No, and you don't either. No one here believes in UFOs. I'm the only one. Oh, okay. You know, it was that kind of thing. And me and the true believers back in the day had three bedrock things. One is, there's a lot of aliens, and they're here, and have always been here. Two, there's a lot of them who look just like us, and we have their DNA. They're kind of like genetically related to us, but they're not us, they're different. And the third thing is, there's a species that looks really like us that's here because they have evolved in such a state that they have become super duper mental and they have no emotionality anymore. And they can't reproduce. And they're cloning. And it's really not a really successful way to continue the species. So they're here studying us and studying emotions to see what they can do about reintroducing the emotionality into their genetics so that there's some physicality to it. But they're clammy cold to the touch because they don't have any emotions. And I'm lying in bed one night and I'm thinking, if I was an extraterrestrial and wanted to study emotions, but I didn't want anybody to touch me because I'm clammy cold, the best job in the world to have would be to be a psychoanalyst. And then I realized, holy shit, my psychoanalyst hasn't touched me, ever. Not a handshake, not a pat on the back, nothing. In fact, when I pay the bill, the closest I ever get to physically touching her is when she reaches across the room holding the corner of the invoice, and I grab the other corner of the invoice, take it, and I write a check, and I'm holding it one corner, and she reaches over and grabs the other corner of the check, and she says, "Thank you very much, Bruce." That's as close as we ever got. And that night, I said, what if my therapist is an extraterrestrial? What am I going to do? I don't know. What is she going to do? Is she going to beam me up to the spaceship, the mothership, to study my emotions more intensely? Or is she going to beam herself up and, oh my God, leave me all alone? I'm going to have to deal with my own life on my own by myself? Oh God. As it turns out, I had a session the next day. I walk into my therapist's office. I sit down on the nice leather couch. Sometimes I would lie down, sometimes I'd sit. This time I'm just sitting. I don't feel ready to lie down. And I don't know what to say. And I don't say anything for a good 5 or 10 minutes. This is, $1 a minute kind of waiting. And she goes, "Bruce, you're having a little trouble getting started today, huh? What's up?" I'm like, here we go. It's showtime, folks. I said, "Well, I think you might be an alien." She says, "I thought you knew I was Jewish." I said, "No, I know you're Jewish. I'm talking about like an extraterrestrial alien, not like a Mexican fruit picker. Come on." And she just looked at me like, "Huh? Bruce, you don't think I'm from the planet Earth? You think I'm from outer space?" And when she said it like that, it really did sound pretty crazy. I go, "Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying." "Oh no. Oh, Bruce. Oh no. Oh." She started rocking in her chair. And she goes, "That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life." And I felt ecstatic. Because I knew her patients. I knew her other patients. They were wackos from the VA. who had just come back from combat in Vietnam, and they're totally wigged out, and I'm crazier than they are. I've done it, I've won. I am elected to the Psychiatric Hall of Fame as the craziest patient. Oh, I felt ecstatic. So happy. What an achievement. Oh. And my therapist was suffering. My therapist started having an anxiety attack in my session. Oh, Bruce, oh no, oh no, oh. She started rocking back and forth and moaning. Oh no, God, oh, I'm the crazy, this spaceship, oh Jesus, oh. And I realized I was gonna have to step up and do the right thing. I was gonna have to save her in my session. So I changed the subject. I started talking about my mother, Catholic school, and my sexual impotency. And by the end of my session, my therapist was as good as new. And when I walked out of her office, I'm going, oh, Bruce, you were good. You are good. And I never mentioned extraterrestrials ever again to my therapist. But I did talk about Ramtha and coming out to Yom. And we focused on that and leaving my relationship with BJ, who I've been living with for 14 years. We owned a house together, we bought a house. And she helped me through all of the things of pulling a relationship apart, selling the house, saying goodbye, packing up, leaving. And it gets to the last session. I'm going to be leaving for Yelm, Washington next week. This is my last session with Sally in New York. And we're going through all the things that I've accomplished in therapy, all the good things and how I've changed. I became a much better boss. I became much more compassionate towards people, less angry. Even my father said I was less angry. You know, hey, wow, good. You know, and just the look on her face at the end of the session, I said, you know, Sally, you don't think I'm going to make it to Yelm, do you? She goes, what do you mean? I said, you think down in your deep soul, you're going to get a phone call from a doctor in an emergency room in Wichita, Kansas, or somewhere out there in Nebraska, saying, hello, Miss Sally, my name is Dr. Dodo, and we have a patient here by the name of Bruce Smith. He says he's from New York, and he says you were his therapist, and I was wondering, could you give us any information, because he's not really coherent at the moment. She says, yeah, I'm expecting that phone call. Yeah, I said, well, I keep reminding her that I made it, you know. I sent her a book, okay? After we had that conversation, we both said, well, I guess that's it. I'll see you around. Yeah. So I get up and I'm walking out of her office. And she goes, Bruce, wait a second. She reaches out her hand. I turn around, I come back into her office, and I shake her hand. It was a regular hand, it wasn't clammy cold.